I just got off a pretty heavy weight session, and I know the protocol is to start recovery within 30 minutes, but it's so hard just to pass this by. The gym is right next to the beach, or close enough to the beach that in the mornings when there's nobody here, it's so awesome to just come to the beach, jump into the water, and get out and then start the recovery process. The beautiful part of living in Encinitas, California. I believe Moonlight Beach is rated as a top 5 beach in all of California. If you think about all the beaches up and down the California coast, and I'm sitting in one that is in the top 5. Unreal. There is nothing better than a dip in the ocean. That was awesome. Love it. Welcome to Injury Prevention Friday, where every Friday I talk about ways to prevent running injuries. Last week I talked about using multiple different shoes to create a different running surface no matter what day it is. This week I'm going to talk about probably the biggest thing about running shoes that cause injuries, and that is runners holding out on replacing their shoes. It is so common, it is comical. The other day, a woman walked up to me, and I was looking at her straight in the eye, and she was talking about the pain she was feeling in her knees and the pain she was feeling in her shins, and asking me how she could change that. And I said, buy new shoes. She looked at me with a quizzical look. What do you mean buy new shoes? And I said, I watched you walk by 10 minutes ago. Your shoes are totally worn out. All you got to do is replace your shoes, and more than likely the pain will go away. Now the reason I said more than likely is because oftentimes we blame everything else. We don't blame the shoes, and by the time we replace the shoes, it's too late and the pain is there for a long time. The best thing you can do, absolute best thing you can do, is if you're consistent in your running, consistent in the days per week and the amount of running that you do, and one day you wake up and something hurts, the first thing you should do is replace your shoes. Don't put it off another minute. Wherever you buy your shoes, go there, buy a new pair, replace your shoes. I have been saying this for I don't know how many years, and still today I see people walk in to see me in shoes that are 6, 8, 10 months past their time. People regularly ask, how long will a running shoe last? It's very difficult to determine how many miles a shoe will last, because a lot of it determines on you, the runner. How light you are on your feet, how heavy you are on your feet, how light your frame is, how heavy your frame is, what your mechanics are like. There's so many variables, but let's use a general view. I'm I'm going to say 300 miles. After 300 miles, you're running a risk. So let's use 300 miles. If you run 15 miles a week consistently, 15 miles, which is average runner today, runs about 15 miles a week. That's 20 weeks. You should replace your shoes every 20 weeks. So essentially that's a little bit more than 2 pairs a year, which is not a lot. But I can tell you, it's that runner that's running 15 miles a week that holds on to their shoes for way too long. I would say on average, the runner that's running 15 miles a week is holding onto their shoes for over a year, which is 35, 40 weeks too long on average. So now let's say you run 30 miles a week. Now you should be getting a shoe every 10 weeks. And if you're running 90 miles a week, well, you already know, because you're running 90 miles a week. You already know you're getting a shoe about every 3 weeks. The runner that runs a lot is not my concern, because they know. If you run a lot, you know when your shoes are worn out. It's those of you that run 15 to 20 miles a week. You're the ones that are at the greatest risk of injury, and you're the ones that hold your shoes too long. Way too long. Running shoes, think about it. $120 shoe spread over 20 weeks is a pretty cheap, pretty efficient investment. But you're taking a $120 shoe and spreading it over a year or longer, and then complaining about the $120 price. Replace your shoes often, faster than you think they need to be replaced. You will avoid injury. Your chance of injury will be so dramatically reduced. But if all else fails, the second you feel pain, if you've been consistent, the second you feel pain, replace your shoes. It will fix the problem. I've had the privilege of working with a host of professional athletes in my career. But there's one athlete that has been a highlight, and he's one of the best athletes in the world today. Unfortunately, yesterday he fell off his bike at the end of a training session and broke his elbow. And because of that, he won't be able to compete in Rio at the Olympic Games. I am so saddened by that, because I know Javier Gomez Noya. I've traveled all over the world to watch him race and to hang with he and his father and his family. And he is such a gracious athlete and just clearly an unbelievable talent. the sport is going to miss him in Rio. He was a clear favorite to win gold. This was going to be his time to shine. And it's just sad to know that he won't be there. My heart goes out to you, Javier. Speedy recovery. I know you will recover. You will recover and do great things, for sure. But for right now, my heart aches for you.